Yeah.
That's what it's going to open with, is you breathing. Episode 72, special guest.
This
Dre
sounds weird.
Strohm.
Hello.
The one-hit wonder.
Wow. But isn't that the best way to go out?
Yeah, I guess.
On top.
Yeah. One and done.
Nah.
Didn't want to work out with us anymore. Had enough for the first year, huh?
Yeah, I'm retired till January.
Retired till January. All right.
TBD.
All right. And then you're going to try to do what?
TBD.
Yeah, what are you going to try and do, Dre?
I don't know. Maybe
You're going to go individual?
Maybe start a C team.
C team?
Like an intramural thing?
Yeah, just for fun.
That's messed up.
There's no such thing. It's just for fun, Dre. Come on.
You're right. It won't be just for fun.
Are you going to do our programming, or are you going to do your own programming? Dre Strohm programming?
I'll just work out with you guys.
Oh, really?
Yeah, right. He barely worked out. He didn't want to work out with us when we were together.
Yeah, that's because I had too much going on. And I was individual.
Because you had too much, or you had too much going on?
Yeah, maybe a little of both. This sounds really weird. I can't really get used to talking like this.
Yeah, Dre, it is what it is. You got to get used to it. Well, no, you don't, because you'll never do it again. Yeah. Dre, we had to pull his teeth to get him on here for this one.
I'm excited to be sitting here for this.
Games recap. We don't have China here. China will be here in October, so we'll do that. Then we'll do a Rookie of the Year. Haley, do an individual. It would have been too hard to go back and forth with team and individual. But how was your first experience, Dre?
It was good. It was not nearly as I thought I was going to walk out there and be like, oh, but it was just it was
working out.
Yeah, it was just working out. It wasn't anything. Honestly, it was
a letdown.
It was a tad bit of letdown. It wasn't as
Dang.
crazy as I thought it was going to be. It was more fun just working out with you guys. That was the best part. Just
because we smashed everybody.
Yeah, that too. It felt like another day. Honestly, it didn't even feel as hard as some of the days we do.
Not even close.
How'd this year feel compared to last year?
Way better.
Yeah, it was way more fun.
It
was a good group. Nobody, everybody got along. Everybody.
Yeah.
Not to say the groups before us weren't, but it was everybody kind of did their part. Nobody was really,
Yeah.
I don't know. It was
I
good.
felt more prepared this year too.
Yeah.
Just because I only had, less time last
we
year.
trained a lot harder than I feel like.
True.
Especially the year before, just with my knee and stuff, but also in years past, I feel like we did almost everything in our power. And I feel like, the events obviously lined up really well for us, but I feel like, we did everything to train for it. So, did you feel prepared, Dre?
Yeah. Honestly, 4 days was it 4 days?
Yeah.
4 days was not enough.
The only hard part about the 4 days was there was all four back to back to back to back. That was the only thing different compared to what we usually do. But
you're talking about when you got to rest prior?
Yeah, usually you'd have Wednesday off, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then, kind of our training schedule, we go hard Monday through Wednesday, off-ish Thursday, and then Friday, Saturday. So it was a little bit different to go that 4-day stretch. But even that 4-day stretch, it was kind of like a Wednesday for us, or a Thursday for us, where we swam in the morning. So it was good.
You guys, from the outside looking in, you guys worked hard. You got to the edge of training and everybody was you could tell you were ready,
pushed some
and
people off the cliff a couple times, but
Yeah, me.
I feel like everybody had a couple times where they were like, okay.
Nah, it was just Tasia. I loved every second of it.
Thanks, Dre.
Just wanted to kill Tasia.
Basically. I survived.
How does your because I get to watch you guys train and your bodies are hurting and you're not injured but you're hurting. How does that translate to the games? Are you feeling all that stuff, like your wrist, or does it just kind of go away?
I felt like we kind of took, a week-ish where we did some. We didn't take off by any means, but it was a little bit less on the joints. It was wasn't as heavy of stuff, but we still trained relatively hard, kept the intensity up, and that's kind of the part of tapering. But yeah, for me personally, I feel like once you get there, everything kind of goes away. Major injuries, on that first event, I tweaked my calf pushing that sled. And so in between events, I felt like I was hobbling around. But as soon as the event started, you kind of forget about all that stuff.
Yeah. One of the things that was interesting, you looked, just from watching from the outside, in that sprint event, you just looked so much faster than everybody.
Oh, yeah.
And
Genetics.
I don't know if it's the way it just
born this way.
The athlete.
Well, you could tell there was football and sprinting and all those things from your past because you were really comfortable running.
Yeah, the cutting I was definitely comfortable with.
Yeah.
It was a fun workout.
Yeah, that was fun. The second one, though, when you set up, it was 15
Oh my
seconds.
God.
And
Dre about fell.
I was like, please make the
Yeah, I was
beat
doing
go.
a static hold.
Yeah.
Well, they said what for you guys too on the first one. It was like 15 seconds
Yeah.
or 10 seconds. Beep.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I might as well just set up early.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was a little bit of a cluster, but it was good. And then, I guess we could start from the beginning.
From workout
instead
one.
of jump out. Well, we could talk about too where Tasia tried to kill me.
Wait, when did I do that?
The water.
I was thinking about the worm.
Oh, that part
There's
too.
been a couple times. I'm on a mission,
To kill Rich Froning?
basically.
I like it.
Yeah. So we were trying to go swim. Was that Wednesday?
Yeah.
On Wednesday, we were like trying to get a little like recovery workout in, and we tried to go to the same spot where we swam last year in this lake. And I'm not sure if it's the side of the lake where the wind blows or the current or whatever it is, but the water was just trashy, kind of like.
Thanks.
It was kind of like there's a bunch of algae and stuff. And so Tasia's like, my brother. Well, every street we drove on in Madison, I think my brother lives here. I think my brother lives on this street.
We found the street he lived on.
We
It was
finally
that street.
find the street that he lives on.
Okay.
And so she's like, my brother's parents-in-laws, is that what you called them? Live on this road, and they have a dock. So we were like, okay, maybe it'll take us out past the algae. So we get out to this dock, and it's still pretty crappy. There's a lot of like undergrowth. And we're like, all right, let's swim to this like old abandoned dock. And so we start swimming. Well, in the middle of it, it felt like you swam through like a Christmas tree is what it felt like. And I'm just like, man, I'm starting to itch. And so I'm swimming, itching more when I get to that dock. And it like feels like pins and needles, just not like hurt, but like itch all over my body. I'm like, guys, I'm itching pretty bad. And they're like, okay. So we swim right through that stupid bush again. And like you're getting stuff wound around your neck or on your shoulders. You couldn't see. You're trying to figure out how to swim around it. So I was like, screw this. We're done. Well, I get out and just full rash. Full on like.
Immediately.
Pretty much.
Yeah, it was like immediately.
Like hives down my sides, my arms.
Yeah.
It was awful. And so turns out it's called swimmer's itch or duck itch or crap itch or whatever it is. But,
Really? So it's a thing.
Yeah.
And it's just from something,
It's something
in the
about
water.
these geese poop and these snail larvae or something live in it, and then
Sounds
they're like parasites
good.
and they bite you.
I
They
definitely
can't live in your system,
swallowed
so they
some of
like
yeah.
they
I was drinking
you
it
have
just
like
for
an
fun.
allergic reaction to it. So it was fun. It was a good
I
time.
liked it.
So this was the beginning. This is,
was-
yeah.
Yeah. So took some Benadryl and
Kill Rich.
good to go.
Yeah, step one.
Day one.
No, day 0.5, I guess.
I was like, I really want to rest. Maybe if we get Rich all itchy, we'll get to rest. No, we went and swam later.
Swam in a pool later.
Yeah.
It was safer.
Just a waste of time.
Is there anything else that happened before the games?
We did some tough workouts in the warm-up area.
We did some nasty ones. There was what else?
Yeah, just the girls they kept saying, "Man, I think we shouldn't do anymore."
I think
we're
I was
good.
like,
We're good. But they would never say it to Rich.
We're
Never.
leaving.
Nobody ever says it to
They
Yes, we do.
always
Yes,
come
we do.
up to me. They're like, "Dre, I think we're good." I'm like, "Okay, do you want me to tell Rich?" Like,
No, it cracks me up because we're like leading into the CrossFit Games, and I'm like, I think this is day 10 on without a rest day. I'm gonna die.
No, you're fine.
And Rich is like, no, let's hit another workout. Just an easy one, 100 double under, 100-foot handstand walk, 25 toe to bar.
50-foot handstand walk, 25 toes to bar, 50-foot handstand walk.
So that's half of what you just said.
Yes.
that was
No.
not as bad as the
what was
row
real?
clean and jerk.
The row clean and jerk burpee was worse. And it was
was
super
awful.
sweaty in there, too.
Yeah.
It was sweaty.
Out of breath, sweaty. What other one was pretty nasty?
What's China's deal the whole time? Like, I know she's not here and you need to do one with her, but are you two just kind of in the background going, Jesus, we're dying, or what's going
Basically,
on?
they have their little, like,
China says she's dying, and then she's always
fine.
okay. Tasia says she's dying, and then she has a meltdown.
Thank you very much. Well, the difference is China's not here.
Right.
So if China's dying at home, she can,
This is
adjust
true.
accordingly.
This is true.
When you're in Mayhem, there's no adjustment.
Yeah.
You just
There
continue
is.
on.
You just cut calories.
That's what you do normally because girls can't pedal the same amount of calories.
Your guys' egos are too big to just like scale it down. Rich will call you out, and you're just like, I have to do it. And it's like, just like relax.
Because we don't like scaling workouts.
I have no
Is there
problem
anything
doing
wrong with that? I know you
I
have no
have
problem
no
doing
problem.
that. You won't even show up if it's below
Rich-
50 degrees.
Rich is better than me. I've accepted it. Let's move on.
Yeah, I think I've accepted that as well. Clearly.
Let's wait till Wednesday when I can run. Feel good about myself one day of the week.
Wednesday, yep. Wednesday
That's it.
run day, Dre's day.
Dre's day.
Dre's day.
Dre's day. I like
I don't
that.
even
Dre's
have
day.
a day. At least you have a day.
Anything with a barbell.
Yeah.
That's every day almost. So.
Well, I thought because you guys won by such a big margin that it was easy.
No, it
and
was
you were
not
like,
easy.
man, you were saying
This was probably the hardest team event year. There were real workouts, you know, like having 14 teams, everybody's pretty high caliber. I thought Dave did a great job of, like, you know, making every event had a team component. You know, it wasn't just your best individuals, but you still had to have good individuals. I guess you could say the relay sprint is kind of individualistic, but you still had a total team time. The swim and swim thing was kind of
The snatch muscle up one was too.
yeah, but you had 2-person teams going at two pairs going at the same time. What else?
The only thing about the sprint that I didn't like is a lot of it is just you're just born with that speed.
Yeah.
I think if there was more obstacles and more cutting, because those are things you can train.
Yeah.
Whereas like straight on speed, you
It's
can't
just
train
straight on
that.
speed,
like distance running, you can train that.
Yeah, almost have two separate, like have the cones on one end, cones on the other end.
Yeah.
Maybe? Yeah.
Obstacle in the middle or something. Just, I don't know. It's a better test, I think.
Going into the games this year, nobody knew what to expect. So what were your kind of overall?
I thought it was way better. Honestly, it was way better than I thought. You know, from the outside and hearing all the stuff that, you know, you hear all the background noise, you're thinking it's going to be like Fire Festival, you know, where it just, you don't know what to expect. You know, at one point I'd heard they weren't doing North Park. They weren't going to put turf on North Park. They weren't going to do this. They weren't going to spend the money on this. And so you're kind of like, oh, great. But it felt like the games. Once it started, it felt like the games. I thought they did a good job. Dave did a great job programming, you know, with the cuts and with all that stuff. I thought it was done the best it could be.
It seemed like it was organized too really well. Where
it was good.
You had time off.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was great. The being done by for us, we were done most days by 2:30 or 3, or sometimes even earlier. But even having the individuals done by 6:30 was nice. You know, just kind of hang out. We were at the campsite.
Yeah,
and it was cool to just go hang out with everybody and do our thing and play some one-hand golf.
Yeah, it seemed like maybe you got to be really connected to the family a little bit more this time than you ever have in the past.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Event
1?
Yeah, I was going to say, go through the events.
We got screwed. The guys got screwed.
Oh,
it was
that was
way
awesome.
harder for us.
That's how it should be.
It was infinitely harder for us.
Okay.
So it was 3 rounds, 4 rounds.
3 rounds?
3 rounds, 25 calories and 18 calories on the assault bike. All 4 people working. 30 synchronized toes to bar, and then sled push, basically halfway and back. You did that 2 times, and then on the 3rd time, instead of going halfway down and back, you went the full length. So it was the same push. Round 2 was hard. Round 3 got exponentially hard. Our game plan was basically, you know, everybody goes out crazy on all these workouts.
Right.
And then toes to bar, we just kind of said, we did big chunks. That's really where we made up a lot of our time, I think. You were all pretty decent and had the same pace on toes to bar. The sled push was really hard. You know, at first you'd start pushing it and you're like, all right, we're good. And then about a quarter or halfway into it, you're like, I'm not doing so good. So, you know, we had the plan to push it halfway down, push it halfway back, all this. And then me and Dre every once in a while would look at each other and be like, we're good.
I think we pushed one full, like, 15 yards or whatever, and they were like,
split it up.
let's not do that.
Yeah, we're good.
And then other teams, they did the second one too.
Yeah.
And I think that's where they...
And so the girls would basically waiting on us the entire time. Like on the sled, they're like, all right, let's push. And we're like, nah, we're good. And but then that 3rd bike was really hard.
It was awful.
I remember looking at Dre, and I'm like, what watts are you at? He's like 400. I was like, I'm not there yet. And so I
thought
going.
you said like 500. I was like, oh,
And so I'm going, and so I crank it up to 400. And so I think Dre's finished, so I get off my bike, and my judge chest bumps me and tells me to get back on the bike. And I'm like, easy, man. Like, calm down. Yeah, whoever you are. I don't know who you are, but you can see it on the video. He chest bumps me. And I was like, all right, man, I get you're on a power trip here, but easy.
Wow.
And so I was not real happy from that point. But then, so I turn around, Dre's like getting off the bike because I smashed myself to catch back up. And so then we broke the Tasia bar a little bit more on that third set, and then on the sled we were just kind of like, let's get this finished. In our heat we were doing really well, and so you have to kind of remember if there's 2 or 3 heats, you gotta push a little bit more than you want to. And there's a pretty funny clip, and we posted it on Mayhem Athlete. Is Mayhem Athlete or CrossFit Mayhem Freedom?
I think it's Mayhem Freedom.
And
It's Mayhem
Dre
Freedom.
looks at me, and he's like, let's push it all the way. And I'm like,
We were so far.
all right, man, let's do it. I think we broke it 3 more times. We pushed, stopped. I was like, all right.
I wasn't
Let's
gonna
go all the
stop.
way through. And then we get it. I was like,
It's gonna be
maybe
slow.
Yeah, I was like,
we were grinding, and I was like, are we going to stop or just keep moving at this snail's pace?
there was no point in doing it. And so we get to the very front edge, and I was like, all right, let's push it all the way in. So
You heard like the crowd cheering, and then we stopped right in front. They're like,
Boo.
What do you think it is about, even at that level, the best CrossFit teams in the world or CrossFitters, and they just have a tendency to go out too hot? What's that about?
adrenaline.
You know?
I mean, that first event is hard to not push hard. You know, like you've got to, because I mean, you've trained all year. This is kind of a new thing. You've got all these super teams. You have, you don't know really what to expect, and so, we've done versions of some of these workouts. We've done these movements together, but you don't know, and so I mean, you just think, hey. I feel like we have a tendency sometimes to maybe come out even a little too conservative. And, it has probably or could bite us in the butt, but I don't know. It's just, it's hard. It's hard to kind of rein that in, and it comes with, having done it for years. I've done several times where I've gone out way too hot on that first. It's hard to kind of rein those.
assault bike 2 is definitely not something.
Yeah, but I mean, you just look at people just hammering the assault
hammering.
Well, we knew watching the first heat, the teams did their first set of calories in 50 seconds and ended up dying.
Yeah.
And we're like, maybe like a minute
Like a
30.
Yeah, because I mean, you're thinking, you're like, all right, in training I would do this at whatever pace, but you'd think, all right, adrenaline gets you, you're going to go a little bit faster, but then you got to start to think, hey, how are these later rounds going to feel if I bury myself right here? And I mean, a sled and a bike or back and forth are awful.
Yeah.
And so I remember finishing that workout, and I was just like, Dave, that was hard. And he goes, just wait till the next one. I
Wow.
was like, okay.
next-
And then they
The
announced the
rope climb
next one,
one.
and I was like, that's right up our. I mean, we'd done 50 versions of that workout in some way or another. With either it was
Yeah.
rope climb or pegboard and thruster or clean and jerk, whatever it was. With that next one, the only thing about that workout that was kind of daunting was the 42 thrusters. We hadn't done 42
That was
thrusters.
the whole workout.
It was not the whole workout, speaking.
For me, that was the whole workout.
Whole workout.
At like 5, I was like, all right, we could drop.
We're good. At 21, I was like, maybe we should drop, pick it back up. And so workout was 753.
Yep.
Rope climb, synchro rope climb. So all 4 people climb up, got to touch at the same time, come down. So 7 of those, 42 worm thrusters, move it at 21, move it past that. Then you go back to 5 rope climbs. Then you go 30 thrusters, worm thrusters, and then you go 3 rope climbs and 18 thrusters. We did the 21-21 unbroken, didn't drop it. Girls crushed it. Basically, we just kind of, you and China had a little like telekinesis. When you guys would climb, we'd let you get one pull. Me and Dre would come up. And then, did we drop between the 15s?
Yeah, because
Tasia
of me.
had to drop.
I needed to drop.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, it was me.
It's like, we got to drop.
Yeah.
When we were that far ahead, they were like, okay, let's drop. And then the only flaw in that workout was we did 5-4.
Yeah, I couldn't. I
And
didn't
then
realize we were going.
We were gonna
9.
do. I said, Dre, are we good to do 9? Dre goes, let's do 9. And so I'm thinking, hey,
Screamed it.
I'm like, hey,
I didn't hear.
He's
No
talked to
way you
Tasia.
couldn't have heard me.
I didn't hear. I was okay.
You're a liar.
So this workout, to be fair, is based on the women. That's where it starts. It's based on the women because the rope climbs. Men are most likely going to
'Cause
be
you guys
better
are
than
weaker,
us.
yeah.
Thank you. And then China is like a world champion rope climber with her
Trampoline.
feet.
She's a trampoline.
There was
She's
no
a
trampoline
That's
out
not very
there.
nice.
She's like the best rope climber in the world.
Okay.
She's a pretty good rope climber.
So when you go into a workout and you know,
You're pretty good, though,
But you're
too.
a really good rope climber.
okay,
What are you talking
but
about?
China's better than me, which is fine.
Okay.
So going
She
in,
is.
you know you're going to be like a little bit of the person who's like in the hole. When there's
Right.
4 people and you're the person in the hole from the beginning,
Right.
everything just starts getting really dark.
It's the worst.
It's the worst.
gets
That
really
was me
dark.
in the first workout, though.
Yeah, to be fair.
I was there
Survived.
with you, buddy.
I'm the one that had to stop on the toe bar.
That's true.
Did you?
Yeah, you did.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it might have been an extra 2 seconds.
I was
but
fine with that. No, me and you both were in the dark place.
When you went down to like your squat,
Yeah.
at one point I was like, me too.
I'm coming, buddy. But yeah, so we finish. We're going to do the 9 and 9 on the 18, and we go 5-4. Walk forward, and we're like, all right, let's do 9. And so we all do 9 except for Tasia. She stops at 5, and we're all like, okay, hold on.
This is like the
and
story
then they
of my
no-rep
life.
us. And then so we had to do another 5.
Yeah.
It was
It's
just
always
like,
the end of a workout.
Yeah,
just
like in
China.
China.
Yeah, just like China.
With the clean and jerks in
Yep.
China.
Yeah.
Or the push press.
Push press. Yeah. So
I can't hear anything back there. I'm just like, if
I
I'm...
honestly screamed that
So loud.
So loud.
I believe you, but I think I was just probably so, like,
Any louder,
dark.
I would have passed out. Like, that's how loud I
It was in
screamed.
a
was
dark
loud.
place.
Like,
Gosh.
everybody in the stands heard me.
Yeah. And
Gosh,
so
yeah.
You're just in the zone, right? You
Yeah,
were-
I'm in the zone of, like, don't die. Just stay standing. You have to finish this.
Right.
There were several times, too, I literally would turn around and be like, you ready to go?
And I'm like, just go. I'm like, because that's what sucks too when you're really tired.
You
It's
don't wanna
better
say
to just
anything.
follow along. Like,
Yeah,
I'll
shut your brain
keep
off.
going until I
But you
can't
didn't
go.
follow along.
Yeah.
But I didn't hear. But then he would turn around and be like, are you ready?
The
I'm
one,
like,
the
just
one time,
go.
yeah. After that, the one time I don't turn around, you don't listen to me.
Because
so
I didn't-
should,
you
I should,
didn't
I should have been
follow
like,
along.
Tasia, are you ready?
No, you just say,
9 here?
it's 9 or something. I don't know.
We're going 9. He said it. He yelled it.
I wasn't there. I don't know.
Tasia's like, I don't know where I'm at.
And then we finish, and I'm sitting on the cooler, and Rich is like, I need you to, like, get ready for this clean and jerk. And I'm like, I know. I need you to give it your
I said,
all.
hey, I need you to keep moving. Because you were like
I'm like, leave me alone.
trying to get your head in the cooler. And
Nothing
I'm like,
fires
all right,
me up more than when Tasia just dies.
Just
though.
dies.
It makes me better. I don't know. There's something about it.
And then, so that was, what was the time cap on that? Like 12 or 18 or something like that?
Yeah, not enough time for me. to
18,
recover.
but we
And
got
then-
done at like 12.
And then we had the 1 rep max clean and jerk, which I was kind of not expecting. You know, I didn't think we'd have 3 events in one day. So that went way better than we expected. You know, you only had 1 bar for men and women, and once weight was on, it couldn't come off. So you had to just keep working your way up. And so there was a little bit of strategy and a little bit of, we kind of screwed China into going a little heavier than she wanted to.
She almost had it.
Yeah. Well, she got the one that she didn't,
215.
right?
Yeah, she tried 225.
Yeah, but I'm saying she wanted to go 205 instead of
Yeah,
215.
yeah, yeah.
And I was like, no, you're good.
Yeah.
And so she crushed that, hit 215. You hit 225. And then from there, it was just me and Dre basically, right?
Yeah, if you want to see Dre do the craziest power clean
Starfish
ever.
power
It
clean.
doesn't look that bad on video.
Me and Dre
It looks
both
pretty
almost
bad.
killed ourselves on the jerk.
Yeah.
We hadn't
Yeah.
done, I mean, that's the most both of us had lifted in a long time.
Oh yeah. 5
but
pounds
yeah,
under
Dre
my
didn't
PR.
even try to squat clean. He just went straight for a power, but his feet hit the rubber on the lifting platform.
When you put the jerk over your head, I was like,
Actually,
just let it go, Dre.
That's probably why my hips messed up.
Probably.
My like groin and right hip have been
It's
hurting.
probably from the jerk that was like,
Yeah, I was like, just let it go. It's not worth
both
it.
of us tried to kill ourselves.
How much was it?
345.
45.
I
You
could
hit
have hit
the
it.
clean, missed the jerk.
I
I hit
rushed
the
it.
clean and jerk on that and missed. I hit the clean on 360 and missed the jerk.
You had that jerk
We
too.
both
It's like-
rushed our jerks.
Yeah, because honestly, they didn't brief like, hey, if it's in the front rack, you can finish the jerk. They didn't
Yeah.
do any of that. So the time
you
I
went
was like,
fast.
I should. And I almost blacked out on the clean. Like, I was like, okay. You know, you get up and you're just kind of dizzy and you're like, all right, take a second here. I was like, nope, go for it.
Go. I was like,
And so I missed it. I mean, that's the most I'd hit in probably 3 years, so I'll take that. But it was fun. We got second on that event. I think, somebody did some like analytics on it, and you only, your ATP and your creatine kinase system, like it takes however long to reboot, and we had the longest rest, and that's the reason why we won, and blah blah blah. And I was just kind of like, well, the fact that we only lift when we're fatigued, probably.
But we
Yeah.
also did the workout way faster.
So we were more tired.
More
Yeah.
fatigued.
But they were saying that we had more time to recover, which I mean, it's true. That was the game plan. Like,
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with that. But
I needed all those minutes.
yeah. And so
Yeah, you did.
we could start to day 1. So first, second. Day 2. What did we start with on day 2?
The ruck run. We could
Was
just
that day
skip
2?
past that. Yeah, that was day 2 morning.
Oh man, I was not
move
looking
on.
forward to that one.
That was honestly probably my favorite one.
Another
Dre's
victory
favorite
for
one.
Dre.
Yeah, that was
Gosh.
my back still itches from that.
Gosh.
I lost
yeah.
all the skin on my back. That was I mean, we'd run quite a bit. We didn't run with weight. Dre ran more than most of us. It was kind of similar to our run that we do around the field, so that was kind of nice.
Yeah.
What was the actual workout then?
So it was 4 laps of technically 1,500 meters. I think it was a little shy of that, but did we have 20-pound bags on to start?
We had 15.
Yeah.
20 and 15. And then every lap, you had 2 10s and 2 7s that needed to go into your bag. It was a little bit of a cluster on our first round. It was supposed to be first come, first serve on the sandbags. We get to our sandbags. They tell us we have to go to these sandbags. We move to those sandbags. They tell us we can't put those sandbags in our bags, so we have to go back to the first sandbags. But we're like, screw it, we're going to put our sandbags in. They walk up and say, no, you're not going to put those sandbags in. So we had to go back to put our sandbags in.
I was so upset.
I was so pissed. And we lost like 3 or 4 spots on that.
Oh, yeah. Easy.
We made most of them. We made them all back up. But it would have given us probably back 20 or 30 seconds or more.
Yeah. We might have moved up 1 spot in that 5th to 4th.
And so that round, we both took our 10s. They both took their 7s, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
The only bag I took.
from then on, Tasia just...
It was about as soon as we got on the grass, like maybe
I was like,
200 meters in, I heard Tasia breathing. I was like, she ain't taking any more
gonna
bags.
die.
And so Dre goes, all right, this time, Rich, you take 2 7s, China, and
China take a 10.
myself
I'll
will take a 10 and a 10. So I'm like, all right, cool. So we do that next lap, and Tasia's not going to
Dying.
take any more. So I'm like, all right, here's what's about to happen now. And Dre's like, all right, now you take 2 7s. China, you don't take any, and I'll take 2 10s. And I was like, nah, bro, I've already got these 2 7s. I ain't taking another. No. And so luckily Dre's like, all right, I'll take 2 10s. Did you take 2 10s?
I took
your
2
bag
10s.
couldn't fit any more
I took
sandbags.
a 7, and China took a 7, and that's what we ended up finishing with. It was.
Thank God it's a team event.
Dre's like, okay, I'm good now. And then that was a real workout. That got hard.
That was hard.
Those last 2 rounds got real.
When you run, though, you're like not even tired. Like you just seem fine all the time.
My quads started to hurt pretty good on that one.
I felt like if anything, my quads were just gonna cramp up.
Yeah.
That was, especially on that last lap, it was just like every step, it was just like
Just
that
running
weight.
with that rope sucks too.
Yeah.
I don't know. You just can't.
Uncomfortable.
Yeah, it was miserable. But you did exactly what we needed to do.
Yeah.
And I mean, we finished 4th in that, which
we did
was
good.
way better than I
5th.
thought we were gonna. Huh? We're
5th.
4th.
Was it 5th?
It was,
No, we're 4th.
I think it might have been 5th because we got 4th on the sprint.
yeah, it was 5th. I
Yeah, it was
Was
5th.
it 5th? All right. Well, 5th
I remember
is still,
because I was really disappointed in Tasia.
Thank you.
5th is still better than I thought.
Another victory for Dre, which is just
Well, there were so
upsetting.
many cool examples that that your strengths and weaknesses really made up for each other throughout the course of the whole event.
Dre crushed that run, and we wouldn't have been able to do, wouldn't have been able to go at that speed if we all had to take some bags. So luckily, he did that. And then, you're mad that you didn't do well, but you did great you did exactly what we needed you to do,
Yeah. It's never fun being the weakest link, but it's cool that the team could help me. You know what I mean? So that we can keep moving at a certain pace, and that's what
why
makes a
it's a
team.
team.
You know,
Yeah.
so
For sure. I mean, it's going to happen
Yeah.
in every one of those events.
I mean, that's looking at that event where that was like kind of top 10 would be good for us, but I mean,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
top 5 was great.
it's what separates you guys.
Yeah.
That the culture fits.
Yeah.
You know each other. You've trained together so much, and you each have these strengths and weaknesses that cover down on each other.
Right.
yeah, I think the difference is too. Like, I'm sure there's a lot of teams out there that like ego comes into play. Where like, of course, I want to take all my bags.
Yeah.
But I know I'm going to be slower if I take all my bags. So
Right.
that is what it is.
It
Where
is
I feel
what it
like
is.
you know
Yeah.
people will do
Yeah.
that. They'll just be like, no, I'm fine, and keep taking it and just get slower and get pummeled. So
That was me at Rogue with the snatch workout.
oh yeah.
I thought I was way fitter than I was.
You're fitter. You just weren't as strong. We didn't cycle a bunch of barbells before.
Yeah.
That. We cycled a lot of barbell after
Yeah.
that. What was event 5?
Oh, 5. Can't forget the chipper.
No, that was day 3. The chipper
Oh.
was day 3.
Was it?
Yeah, because that was Saturday.
Day 2 was the strongman sphere, team strongman sphere.
Oh, the handstand walk.
That one was fun.
Oh, yeah.
That one was a blast.
Yeah. That one was fun.
China did
That one
great.
hurt.
She was all stressed out about
Yeah,
the
she-
handstand walk. She did exactly what we needed her to do.
It was honestly a great pace for all of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we just kind of took off, and then she would get there, and we would all work together. That one was a lot of fun. The lunge was easy-ish.
Yeah.
It wasn't that far. We'd lunged way farther and done similar workouts. The sled pull was awful.
Yeah, it was just awkward.
Yeah, couldn't get any type of bite on it.
Digging
really
into your
pull
shoulder.
Handstand walks and lunges are something you do a ton of.
A lot. Yeah, China just hates them, but she's gotten way better at them. Good. She did great. And then that snail was a lot of fun. We're kind of creeping up.
Yeah, you and Tasia were going psycho.
Yeah, but you guys did great. I was watching the video. You guys did great too.
I wasn't going to. I felt like I wasn't moving it at all.
Yeah, but you guys were moving it. The big thing was our transition. Because they would let it stop where as soon, like we would kind of push each other out of the way. And we kind of had a system where watching the clock, you'd go 15 seconds. When you start to slow down, you switched. And then that last little bit, we knew we were good and we hammered them. That was awesome. That was fun. That was probably one of the most fun I've had in a while. Just seeing, because you could see it happening and you're kind of like catching, and then pass them. It was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. I'm not gonna lie. The first time we got on the sail, my shoulders were so
fried.
lit.
Yeah,
I was like, oh no, and then it got better.
Yeah, it was way better. That was fun.
From coming off the handstand walk?
Yeah.
Who was it? Armin posted that was one of his top 5 moments from the games. I was just watching that event.
Oh, that's cool.
It was kind of cool. It was, you could kind of track everything and see where everybody was, which was a lot of fun. So that was end of day 1 or day 2.
Day 2.
So I feel like to that point, teams had it harder than individuals personally.
For sure.
Like the events were a little bit harder. But then, adding Mary in there to the individuals, that sucks.
Yeah, my biceps.
Yeah, that takes it exponential. Day 3 started with... Sprint, yeah. That was a little nerve-wracking. Honestly, you don't know, like, what other people's athletic backgrounds are. You don't know, you're starting to make some cuts, so points are getting a little bit different. We have a good lead, but once you start making some of these cuts, the jump in points was, like... Us winning events at the beginning didn't mean as much as winning events at the end, which kind of is, it's part of it. It's just, that's what it is.
Right.
So it gets a little nerve-wracking at that point. We don't really know. We know each, I know Dre's fast, I know Tasia's straight line fast, but you just don't know.
Yeah.
And so.
It was crazy. You looked super fast.
Thanks.
From the TV perspective.
Oh, yeah.
It was really.
moving.
She's explosive.
Until the cuts.
We'll work on cuts a little bit, but you're so fast. Like it
I did not know that though. I really, honestly, didn't know that.
I didn't know either.
Honestly,
I'm going to be honest. I didn't know either, and I had this discussion with Kristen after. I think a lot of times when we sprint, I'm not as fast because I can't recover fast enough. Mm-hmm. Like when I'm sprinting with a team, like we have a certain amount of time to recover, and my body can't recover fast enough. So then people just start getting faster than me, and then when it's just one sprint. Like I'm fully recovered. So like I'm actually like I'm faster, but just for like a short amount of time.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
For me, I hadn't sprinted. Like that's the one thing with my knee. We didn't sprint because that's the one. I feel like that's the one thing that I still haven't gotten back yet, just because we didn't do it a ton. Because that's what bugged my knee the most. So I haven't really pushed that. And so sprinting for me, I was like, oh great, here we go. Like I know I can do the lateral stuff, but the sprinting. So I just didn't know how we would be. And so once we made it into the semifinals, I was like. All right, we're good. We got enough points.
We know we got at least top 5.
And so that was good for us.
That was a really fun event to watch from the outside.
Yeah, you could see what was going on.
It's just kind of different. It was athletic.
Yeah.
It just kind of was a change of pace. That was fun to watch.
And then whatever it was, the chipper, that was awful. That workout was terrible.
See, I like that one.
It was good, but it hurt.
Like
the sandbag cleans were kind of weird because there were 100 and it was a lot of them, the deadlifts. And then once we got to the GHDs and I saw people breaking up GHDs, I was like, okay, this is all right. And then looking at the workout at first, I'm like, sandbag should be 150 pounds. It should be, it should be 50 out, 50 back. This is stupid. We should be doing 2-person snail jump overs, not just one person. By the time we got to the snail, I was like, all right, I'm good. Let's do one.
Let's do one.
And then, coming back through on the end. And then, as bad as you hate to say it, watching Krypton, who's in second, just fall apart on that workout. You're like, all right, let's make up some points here. And then going back and forth with OC3, a little bit of a rivalry there. Just being able to beat them was fun.
Yeah. That workout from the outside, like what you said, seemed like it was going to be too easy.
Yeah.
I didn't understand why the bag seemed as light and all that. And then when you got into it, it was like, oh.
Yeah, it was hard. The deadlifts is really where people started to fall apart. And then the GHD, they really fell apart.
Yeah.
Those last set of box jumps were...
Box jumps. I forgot about the box jumps. Those
were
awful.
I can't forget about those.
So bad.
That was,
Oh, man. Breathing-wise, I was like, okay.
I was fine until those last set of box jumps. And then I was just like, No.
I may die.
I didn't realize how long that workout was going to take.
I couldn't count. Like, I was just like, what are we at?
You kept asking me
our
what
judges
we were
weren't
at.
counting aloud, so it was like.
And then we kept getting no reps on some questionable stuff, but hey, it is what it is.
Yeah, that was fun.
The one thing I didn't absolutely know how we were getting no rep was the sandbag cleans at the end. They were like,
stand up.
I was like, what do you mean stand up? It's 100 pounds. I don't even have to bend my knees to pick this thing up.
And then we got a no rep because he said we dropped the bar, and I know we didn't drop the bar. But
yeah.
Oh well.
That was fun because it was another one where everyone went out like super fast, and you're just. This is such a long workout, and people were just going out.
And it was hot. That one got hot.
Yeah.
That was probably the hottest one we had. I was like, okay, this is uncomfortable. We've been out here for a long time, and it's hot. And, yeah, so.
Did you guys like being outside or inside better, or was it nice?
We only had that one inside.
Right.
It's cool and all, but outside's fun.
Yeah, I like outside.
I like outside.
And then day 4.
Swim.
That was stressful because there was, 7 teams left? And so then your points are really messed up. Yeah. And so you're kind of like, all right. And the swim and paddleboard, and a lot of those team members were individuals that have used that paddleboard before. Man, I was terrible on that paddleboard. That was so hard to get that thing to there's that clip of China just like coming by, and she's like, do 5 strokes and glide. And I'm like, shut up and just go. Get out of the way. Like, I did 5, and then I try to glide, and I like almost fall off. And I'm like, okay, I'm just keeping my feet, my hands in the water.
That's the whole time.
It was frustrating, though, because, I came in second off the first or second. Me and Christy were about even on the swim, and then she just left me on the paddle. I looked like an idiot.
I was talking to my wife, and I'm like, okay, watch him smash this now. He is going to leave her so far behind. What's going on?
Yeah.
Rich, what are you doing?
That paddle was hard. And then the camera boat was like right beside me, a little bit in front of me, and just throwing wake. And I'm like, I wanted to flip them off until I realized they had the cameras. And I was like, I shouldn't do that. I was so frustrated. I was like, guys, I'm already having hard enough time. Let's don't do this.
Yeah.
What
was the deal? I mean, how do you fix it?
So unstable. You just have to, I think it's just,
practice.
If you could get up on your knees, it would help a ton.
Right.
I was way too far back. I was like trolling the water.
Yeah.
I was like a tugboat.
Well, China was like, just don't be too far forward.
Yeah,
and
so
then I realized like halfway that I was way too far back.
Yeah, so I'm just dragging in the water. But I mean, that was another one that, Tasia was all stressed about. But luckily, she did exactly what she needed to do. Hillary said, she didn't tell me, or she told me after you fell off like 5 times.
She was like
freaking out. She said she was trying to coach you. I was like, what?
I was like so pumped because I finished the swim and it felt good. I freestyled the whole thing. Last year, I side stroked 500 and almost died. And I'm trying to get on this board. I'm like, yes, this is my time. I jump on, fall off, jump on, fall off. And I was like, I'm like, you need to get on this board.
That was so stressful though, because me and Dre and China are in.
Yeah.
Like we'd finished, and we're probably the top 10 overall of everybody, us 3. And so then you're trying to play numbers in your head, and you're like, all right, that's not Tasia. That's not Tasia. That's oh crap.
No, I was dying.
And so like at this point, like several teams had finished, like all 4 had finished, but it really, it all depended on the math.
Right.
And so you're kind of like, all right, where's Tasia?
Yeah.
And then she did exactly what we needed to. We finished second on that one. So
watching the TV monitor, they didn't say anything about you for the longest time.
Yeah.
And not really knowing what the rules were, you're just panicked because they're not saying anything.
Right.
Yeah.
And they kept showing, I don't remember who the dude was, but he was in last place.
Holden. I think it was Holden, yeah.
And they kept showing him, but you don't know anything
where
else.
Tasia is.
I was out there.
Tasia's dead.
Yeah.
Somewhere. I was just trying not to fall off, to be honest. I knew China said it was going to be hard to balance, but I didn't understand how hard it was going to be to balance.
Yeah.
So I was like, by the time I got in, I was shaking just from like trying to balance. Not because my arms were tired. I just didn't want to fall.
Yeah.
My shoulders and back. Like trying to arch to like look up. I was like, okay, my neck. It was bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It definitely made that workout longer.
Yeah.
Not having that be a skill you were great at because you were.
Man, the swim, I felt great. I even did this like weird thing where I came in and was way out. Like I looked over and everybody else is like 30 or 40 yards out to the right. And I'm, kind of going in and out. And it was this weird thing. But
the first thing I was thinking was, is there some rule to the way you go around the buoy?
What was hard is almost there should have been like 3 or 4 buoys.
It's hard to see it.
You're spotting it and you're like, I don't really know where I'm at. You know, like I kind of know. I just don't know if I'm too. And turned out I was pretty far over.
Right.
But
Big Ron Ortiz was on one of the paddle boards.
Yeah.
And he was kind of trying to motion you. You could see on the camera angle.
Cam.
Busick?
Yeah, Cam. Yeah. He was like, I was trying to get. He was in my way. I couldn't see the thing, and he was like, well, I was trying to show you where to go.
Oh.
And I was like, yeah, but you were blocking the buoy. I didn't realize he was trying to help.
Right.
And I was getting a little frustrated swimming, and he was like, no, I was trying to help you. I was like, dang it.
Well, that like when you look at your, where you were as a swimmer in the beginning to where you are now, it's night and day difference.
And I want everybody to know that I made everybody swim 1,000 every time we would start swimming at Bob's. I was like, all right, we're swimming to the 1,000, and everybody's like, this is stupid. We're never gonna do this. Sure enough, that swim was farther than 1,000.
I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of pissed when it turned out to be 1,000 because I'm like, dang it, Rich was right.
Yeah, I wanted there to be no swimming. It's like we did all that
Yeah, for nothing, Rich.
Yep. So it helped, like, because what's hard is, usually if you were to swim that completely. No warm, like we didn't really get a warm up to swim. Yeah. So like
we did that.
That's
so
hard.
Many times.
And so we did that so many times that it was like you knew what to expect. You knew about halfway.
It was at 1,200. It was
far.
It was further.
It was far.
But I mean, if we'd only been swimming 500s, I might have panicked a little bit.
Yeah.
Because
it was far.
It was it got so boring.
So knowing that you've done it was really good.
Yeah.
And you knew what to expect. You knew that, hey, about a quarter of the way into this, I'm going to blow up and it's going to be miserable. But then about halfway, you're like, okay, I'm good again. Like it's a weird, like it takes a little bit to get, like at first you feel great. And then it hits you and you're like, okay, this is really far. And then you kind of panic a little bit. And then you hit that 1,000. You're like, okay, I'm almost like I'm halfway there. It's back. Yeah. But it was far. It was way farther than 1,000.
As a spectator, it was like that particular event was a little boring to watch.
Boring to watch.
The swim part.
But it's necessary.
But then when you really realized what that means to be an athlete and to be able to do all those things, you're like, it's boring.
And that's kind of the hard part of some of this stuff. And you try to make it as spectator friendly as you can, but it's hard. Because it needs to be a hard test.
Yeah, it's a good test.
You got to test some stuff. Like some of the stuff's going to be boring to watch. And Dave, I think, does a good job of making up for that and making some things exciting. And, hey, there's some necessary evils if we want to test the fittest team or fittest individuals. You got to have some of these boring
for sure. The programming, I thought, did that. Yeah. It tested you in a lot of really diverse ways, but yet it didn't have to have anything really weird in it to have to really be a good test.
Right.
They didn't have to, like, go on a bike trek across the town or something like that. It was cool.
The final workout, the standards, the most stressful workout of the weekend. I
was not stressed at all.
I wasn't either, but I was super stressed because
we weren't sure if there was going to be another workout.
We weren't sure.
They all scored separately.
We walking up to the stadium, you're kind of like, all right, here's the timeline. This is the amount of time they have set for us. Is it going to be 3 events? Are they going to be separate scored events? If there's only 5 teams, we have 100.
We had like a solid lead.
160, 170 point lead, something like that. However, you get 100 points. You get last, you get 0 points. And so if Krypton wins all 3 events, if there are 3 events, and we lose all 3 events, they can win.
Yeah.
And so you're like, crap, what is it? So they walk us out there. They're like, here it is, clean and jerk, muscle up, snatch. And you're like, all right, sweet. Is it 1 event? Is it 3? It's 1 event. And so we're like, all right, well, then we don't have time to do more events. Okay, so I think we're good, but are we good? And so I'm like, I walk up to Chuck after, and I'm like, hey, is this 1 event or 3 events? He's like, 1 event. You guys are good. I'm like, okay, is that good? Are we good? Like, and Dave walks up as we're walking out of and these girls are stressing. So how are we gonna break this up? What are we gonna do? Are you gonna break your muscle ups?
Should I go second?
Yeah,
you're better at me.
You're like the most stressed I'd seen them the entire weekend.
China and I, most of our strengths and weaknesses are opposites, and then neither of us really like ring muscle ups. We both feel like we're not very good at ring muscle ups. So like that's the only thing where we feel like we're both not good at. And so one person was gonna get more rest on the ring muscle up, going into it. So we were trying to decide who would be the better person to do that. So it was stressful.
So you're trying to put it off on each other.
Well, not like put it off, like not like you trying to figure out what's
statistically,
better.
there was not even any way that we could lose. And you guys, even when you knew that,
Dave walks
you were
out.
still stressing out.
Hey, you guys have already locked this up. Lack of better terms, I'm going to quote him. He said, don't shit the bed. Don't just sandbag it.
Right.
And so we're like, oh,
Still want to win.
all right.
Of course.
Yeah.
And so like kind of all the nerves go,
Yeah.
but you're like, there's still a bunch of people watching. Like,
Yeah, just
we don't
perform.
we don't not want to win
Yeah,
an
we still
event.
want to do well.
Yeah.
But these girls are freaking out. Freaking out.
We wanted to do well. We didn't want to go out.
Most
on-
nervous you guys were the
Most
entire
nervous, most stressed
weekend.
I was because of these guys.
We didn't want to go
I looked
out.
at Rich. I was like, should we? I think I said like, should we be stressed right now?
I was like, dude, we're fine. Like, and here's
they're
the deal.
stressing me out.
We've done that workout.
I know.
But in somewhere like we did it as I did 30 clean and jerks, he did 30 clean and jerks, I did 30 muscle ups, he did 30 muscle ups, 30 snatch. Whatever. I think we started with snatches actually.
Yeah, it was
that
like
It was heavy.
snatch.
I thought it was heavier.
It was
when we did
heavier.
But we also did a version that was just 135,
But that was just clean and jerk and muscle up.
and then clean and jerk again because
Yeah.
we did both.
It was.
but still,
we did it like 3 times.
but still.
I know. We knew what.
And then we've
we
done
knew
it
what felt
heavy.
like.
We've done this workout. We've done 30 muscle ups for time, and these girls are stressing out. We've done muscle ups on long straps all year because I sucked at that. These are short straps, so they're even easier.
You're good at muscle ups,
And she's
too.
good at muscle ups.
There was no
Last
way-
year, she was not good at muscle ups.
Yeah, because, okay.
We did singles on muscle
Yeah,
ups.
if you guys want to talk about the 30 ring muscles for time last year at the games, it was like the worst event ever.
We've done muscle ups.
done
We've
a
done a
lot.
lot of muscle ups. You were fine. Freaking out.
We wanted to
Rich,
go out
Are you,
and do well.
are you going to do touching? Are we going to do singles? Are you going to wait for me? Are you going to just go ahead and leave me? No.
Don't leave me.
Because you had to do 10, 10, and 10, but the guys could go. Like, I would finish my 10, and the judge would go, you can move on. I'm like, I'm going to stay here with her so she doesn't have a full meltdown.
I was
like,
fine.
You're just going to make me look bad. Like,
No, it was more like we're going out into it, and for at least I don't want to speak for China, but you want to prove that you've worked hard and go out and win and not come like 5th place in the last workout. You know what I
Right.
mean? And both of us were feeling a little bit stressed about the muscle ups.
beyond stress.
Like I know the barbell was going to be fine. I wasn't worried about that. But
Of course.
yeah, whatever.
But it was fun.
It was really fun.
We were, as usual, middle of the pack to start, probably 3rd or 4th.
Yeah.
And then the muscle ups, the last set of 10 always got a lot of the girls because they went out too big of sets. And then on the snatches, I got to this. So I broke my last set of muscle ups into 5 and 5 because I knew we'd have a short rest on the snatches. And I was like, let's push the snatches. And so I get the snatches and I'm like, I'm going to do 10 touch and go. 1, 2. Never mind. I'm going to do singles.
Yeah.
And so it was.
I asked you before. I was like, are we doing singles? And you're
I was
like, yeah.
Yeah. Or no, I did singles to 20. And then I was going to do a
did-
touch and go.
Yeah, you did a touch and go at 20, and I was like, I saw you do it, and I was like, nope, I'm not doing that.
But what was so hard about the snatches is you couldn't find the ring
Yeah.
to snatch because the color of the bar.
I think I had layered some chalk
a little
on there
bit of
before.
chalk there, but still you were like catching
yeah.
it like this,
Yeah.
and so it was like chaos, but it was still
Yeah.
fun. And then to win the last event
Yeah.
was a.
That was fun because we were behind the whole time, and then like Rich and I passed Krypton on the muscle ups. Like they had, I think Jess had like one more, so we weren't really that far ahead.
Yeah.
And we were going singles, and everyone's trying to go touch and go, and I just
I remember
imploded.
Camila was right beside me. She did like a set of 10. I was like, oh
And
gosh.
Tommy Venus the same way. He
Yeah.
like tried to do a set of 10 or
Yeah.
whatever, and then just died. And you're like,
Yeah, that was classic.
Yeah.
Mayhem starts slow, and even the announcers are talking
Yeah.
about it, and you could just see progressively, you just start to move past everybody, and then finish really strong.
That was fun.
it was fun. It was a good time.
Yeah, that's a cool way to finish it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
it was
know?
good.
It was
It
really
was
cool.
like I said. I mean, I feel like most of the events we'd pretty much done.
Yeah.
Minus the ruck, we hadn't really carried much weight, but we'd ran a lot and we'd done that distance a lot. The sprint, we hadn't done a ton of sprinting, like I said. But everything else, I feel like we were pretty much lined up pretty well.
Yeah.
And it was a good time. It was fun. Dre, we'll miss you.
I'll still be around.
There's
guys.
still a chance for you.
What's it look like? Like, what's, if you're really not going to come back, what's Freedom look like in the future here? What are you going to do to?
We can't really tell that yet.
Can't announce it yet.
Yeah, we got somebody that's
They'll be fine.
willing to step in.
Right on. So China's
China's in,
China's
yeah.
in. Yep. And so we found a replacement for Dre. You'd never replace him in our hearts, but
We can replace him in our hearts.
you know,
Yeah.
people I think people, the whole culture piece is super important.
Yeah.
And people, I think, underestimate that.
Yeah,
and watching you guys this year was so
good.
good.
Like I said, it was fun. Like we had a good time. And not to say, like I said, we didn't have a good time in years past, but this was a lot of fun. This is probably the most fun I've had in a while, obviously, because we won so big and felt like we were overly prepared and all that. But everybody that was on the team had a good time with, and the dynamics
were different, personalities were different, but it was really cool to watch you guys.
Yeah, it was fun.
I really like listening to you two just
Banter?
go at each other. It's awesome.
Just trash talk the whole time.
It's genuine though. People think I'm kidding, but it's
hate you.
yeah.
Thanks, Dre.
The true reason why I can't do this anymore.
I mean, it's because of me. Because you're sick of losing to me.
I mean, I'm not on your team anymore, so.
Yeah, but I mean, that was what made it fun. Is like putting you in the dirt and training. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna do now.
I don't know how true that is.
For a lot of them.
There was some. There was some
anything with a barbell.
Equal dirt pushing, I feel like.
It got better. You got fitter.
Yeah.
Yeah. You kept saying that to me. Like, I feel like every week you're like, Dre, you're getting fitter.
I know. It was really annoying because when you first started training with us, I just like smash you all the time.
Yeah, because I hadn't trained in 6 months pretty much.
Yeah, it was fun for me. And then you got fitter.
Now I'm back to my old ways.
Yeah, so let's work out.
Cardio and yoga. Back to Dre Fit.
Yoga was, y'all got to try it.
What are you guys doing now? Are you hitting it hard or are you?
We took about 2 weeks where we took it super easy, and I just can't.
You took 2 days.
We're still taking it relative.
Maybe we should talk about the workout we did yesterday.
Yesterday was awful.
I'm like, what am I training for right now?
Was that the rope climb?
Yes.
Yeah, I looked at that. I was like, all right.
That was dumb.
Yeah, it was really dumb.
Back to games training.
I was like, what am I doing?
That was hard. It was hard. But
can you talk about what the schedule looks like coming, moving
into
the next season?
I think kind of our first sanction, we're looking at strength and depth. We may try to hit a couple this year just to have, it's fun competing, and this new format's different. It'd be fun to go to a couple different ones of these. We really just kind of wanted to step back and look at. Last year was hard to figure out. On teams, it really matters the programming because you can really, I don't want to say specialize, but you can
cherry pick.
Programming needs to be well-rounded to have good teams go. Obviously we didn't win a couple, and the first one was a little bit different than the rest, but at Rogue, when you have people that don't do a ton of team workouts and they program a bunch of individualistic or individual style workouts or you
could also tell none of those were tested.
Very biased workouts towards, certain skills, strengths, and weaknesses, then you're not going to have the best. And you had some good teams win some sanctionals, but I feel like I say all that to say that we looked at a lot of sanctionals to see how they programmed and if they program team events. Those are the ones we'll probably try to go to.
Right.
Because it makes a big difference.
Yeah. So are you happy with the way things are kind of shaping out now as far as the future of CrossFit and what you've seen?
I think so. I think it'll be all right. It turned out better than I was thinking. I just wish there was a little bit more communication, I guess.
Yeah.
But it'll be all right.
Through the transition and all that stuff.
Yeah, it'll be all right.
Well, it's cool, man. It's exciting.
Cool. All right. Episode 72. RP Strength, Trifecta, CrossFitMayhem.com. Dre just redid all the website. All this time he's had not working out. Just been going through, redoing everything.
Yeah.
Retirement life.
Fun stuff.
So, cool.
Right.
Anything else? We got Mayhem Mindset stuff coming up.
Mayhem Mindset stuff. We're crushing it. We got people in the course right now, and we're about halfway through. So
nice.
It's going well.
Cool.
We have more gear coming out too. Long sleeve shirts, sweatshirts,
fall gear,
thermals,
get some fall gear.
Lots of blackout stuff for Black Friday.
Froning Farm stuff.
Lots of Froning Farm stuff coming out.
Now, so.
There's some cool stuff coming up. There's been a couple of cool partnerships and some things that are amazing. So.
Yep. So pay attention. Stay tuned. We'll try to get more regular on the podcast. It's been a while. So peace.